I'm the lead chef instructor with Vernon College, Burke Burnett ISD Culinary Academy. This is an adult program for high school graduates or even college graduates. We've had students from the age of 16 up until in their 50s or 60s. Some people like to take it just for fun. Can you imagine that? It's fun to cook. So here's a little bit about our academy. Can you see these guys? I know I can't hear you, but if you have questions, I understand that you have a question bubble you can type in, and then I'll get to them as soon as I can. But do you recognize any of these people? I'm sure you do some of them. They're all pretty famous on the Food Network. Our course starts in September and finishes up in May. Classes meet Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday from 5:30 to 9:30. And our classes are currently being held at the CEC Center in Wichita Falls. That's the Career Education Center, I think is how it goes. Anyway, it's a very new facility, very, very nice, lots of room. There's 7 courses that you will take, and each of those courses is tied to a certificate issued by the National Restaurant Association. So it isn't just a local thing. These certificates are recognized nationwide. If you complete all of the certificate exams with a passing score, then you can apply for a Manage First professional credential. Here's the courses, and you do take them in order. We start out with hospitality and restaurant management, food, sanitation, and safety. Very, very important, especially during these times. But really at any time. If you're preparing food and you have people's lives in your hands, you have to know how to do it safely. Then we'll go into basic food preparation, excuse me, nutrition and menu planning, controlling food service costs. Very important. There's a lot of math involved in this, but it's simple math. It's addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. It's pretty easy. Then intermediate food preparation. And then last course you'll take is hospitality, human resources management. So you know how to fire people properly. Here's some things you'll learn. Y'all like to use a lot of presentations because as a chef, a restaurant manager, you need to know how to speak to people, how to give a speech, just general communications. It's a very good course for that. In sanitation and safety, you're going to learn about personal cleanliness, control of illness caused by food contamination and how to prevent it. This is everybody's favorite part. Yes, you do get to eat what you cook. You have to know how it should taste. So the food preparation is everybody's favorite. Mine too. Then nutrition and menu planning. This is becoming more and more apparent that as a whole nation, we need to be more aware of good nutrition and learn about food allergens and special dietary restrictions. For instance, maybe you want to open a vegan or a vegetarian restaurant. This course will help you do that. Food service costs, how to purchase food, how to store it correctly and safely. And then this particular certificate also covers what to charge for your food on your menu. If you're not sure about menu pricing, you need to look at what you paid for all of the ingredients, and then there's a formula that you'll use to figure out how much you should charge for it on your menu to make a profit, because in the end, it is a business. Human resources. Principles and procedures, interviewing, selecting, hiring, firing, benefits, all of that kind of stuff is covered in this last course. Here's some examples of earning potential. An executive chef in Dallas can earn an average of $65,000 per year, and that's average. There are some very, very fancy, nice properties in Dallas that the executive chef probably earns up to $200,000. And that's the end of my slideshow. Does anybody have questions? Can you see me? No questions? Anybody? Ask me anything, I'll tell you. Nobody?
We do have a question. What type of education and training is needed to enter this career field?
You have to be 16 years old. There is really no formal education needed to enter the field. Our class, our program will help you get a foot in the door, and I can guarantee you, if you have these certificates on your resume, your application is going to go to the top of the stack.
How much money can you make?
In this area, an average salary for a line cook, that's somebody that's just starting out, around $12 to $14 an hour. In other areas, larger areas, I worked in Phoenix for many, many years. The big money, I don't want to sound like I'm being negative. Money comes to you when you are really good at what you do. And if you're passionate about it, the money will come. Our courses are not geared specifically just for people who want to cook. We're looking to train managers because that's where the money is really. People who want to own their own business or be a restaurant manager. And it isn't just about restaurants and cooking either. You could take this course and become an event planner, a wedding coordinator, work on a cruise ship. Wouldn't that be fun? Any other questions?
Typical work week and most favorite parts of your job.
Well, my job as an instructor, my most favorite part is when we cook in the kitchen. And the least favorite, mopping the floors.
Have you ever made a mistake at work? How did you overcome it?
That is a really good question, and I have a really good example. I was working at the Arizona Biltmore Resort and Spa in Phoenix, Arizona. We had a recipe that was called Coca-Cola cake. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a speed rack. It's like a tall rack and it holds 18 to 20 full-size sheet pans. They're pretty big. So I'm making this huge batch of Coca-Cola cake and I've got it in the big 60-quart bowl behind me in the mixer and everything's going great. And I start pouring the batter into the pans and it isn't making as much as it normally does. And I'm looking at the pans and looking at the bowl, and then I looked up and I had measured out the sugar, which was probably 15 pounds of sugar, and it was sitting on the shelf in front of me. I forgot to put the sugar in. So I had to take each one of those sheet pans, scrape the batter back into the bowl, add the sugar, mix it some more, repan it, and hope for the best. It did turn out okay. But, you know, a simple mistake. Anybody could have made that mistake. Any other questions?
How do you keep safe when you encounter a dangerous task at work?
We have a lot of systems in place. The most dangerous thing I encounter at work is possible burns and maybe knife cuts. Yes, I have cut my hands. It happens. It happens to the best of us. Sharp knife is safer than a dull knife. And when I'm walking in the restaurant and I'm carrying something hot, I'm going to walk behind people and I'm going to let them know I'm there. And I'm going to say behind you with a hot pan, or I'm behind you with a knife. And when you're carrying a knife, you want to carry it by the handle, blade down, and beside your leg. And don't ever, ever try to catch a knife that you've dropped. So we have some things that we just do as a matter of course during the day.
Have you ever learned something new at work? If so, how did you learn it?
Always. Every day should be a learning experience. Always learn stuff at work. Every time I go to work, it's a new experience for me because people react differently, especially working with students. I've had some failures with recipes. Just as a caveat, you cannot trust every recipe that you find online. I have made recipes that I found online and they were horrible. They didn't work. I tried it again thinking maybe I made a mistake. They still didn't work, or they were just not tasty. So the recipes you see on, even on the Food Network channel, there's a little blurb at the bottom if you look on their website. This recipe may not have been tested in a Food Network kitchen. but they're publishing it anyway, like it's this great, fabulous thing. But, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Try it for yourself. If it works out, great. If it doesn't, maybe you can figure out how to fix it.
What is your number one piece of advice for someone wanting to be a cook or a chef?
Number one piece of advice, when you get that first job, and it may have to be dishwashing or bussing tables or even as a server, give it 3 months. If you still hate it after 3 months, then maybe you need to move on to something else, but give it a good 3 months. We good? I'm so glad everyone got to see, I'm so glad everyone got to see me today. I wish I could see you guys. I really miss not doing this live, but if you have any questions, I'm pretty easy to find. Thank you so much.